Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a very special episode where we get our first real life look at the BMW G82 M4. Now this car has been causing a lot of controversy for a number of reasons, but I'm going to look over the car and show you the design elements I like and the ones I dislike. So let's get to it. So let's take a look at the design of the new M4, and we'll start with the least controversial part of the car, which is the rear, and we'll move on to the controversial part, which I'm sure you want to hear my views on. So from the rear, I actually really like the aggressiveness of the car, but it doesn't really look like a BMW to me anymore. It's not such a bad thing, but I think they haven't carried over a lot of the heritage on other BMWs. The lights look very different to a normal BMW, and it's very chunky. That's not to say it's bad, it's aggressive and it's modern. I think it's going to take a little bit getting used to, but I can learn to love the rear of this car. Some of the things I really like are the rear diffuser. It's very angular, very aggressive, and this has the ultimate pack on it. So this middle part is carbon fiber. I think on the normal model, it's just black gloss. The other thing I really like is the exhaust tailpipes. Now, usually BMW have tailpipes that are too small for the rear of the car. This car is quite chunky and the tailpipes are huge. They actually really suit the aggressive nature of the car. The only thing I will be slightly critical about is that they don't stick out enough and they're slightly recessed. But I think that's probably more of a safety issue than it is a design issue. The lights themselves are very modern looking, but again, I think they've lost some of their BMW-ness, but they do look good. I really like the side light here and the way it swoops round. The rear spoiler is a nice design, but I think it could have been a little bit bigger to suit the nature of the diffuser. And also the roof on this car is a lot different to what we've been used to. So usually you have a double bubble style with a recess in the middle, but on this you've basically got two ridges that are raised and then go all the way from the front to the back. Moving on from the back, let's take a look at the side. Now, overall, the side profile is very slick. It's very sleek. And there's bits of it that I really love, and there's bits of it that I'm not quite a fan of. So let's start with the rear quarter over here. The one thing that really bugs me about it is the distance between the window here and the bottom of the arch, and then the rear light. That triangle is very big, and it just looks like an expanse of space that's not doing much. One of the other things that's noticeable is that Hofmeister kink has gone, and this looks more generic, so it's much more Audi or Mercedes-like. If you saw the car from kind of this angle, you'd be hard pushed to tell what it was, and it's lost a bit of its BMW identity. The other thing I'd like to mention is on the F80 and F82, that crease that went all the way from the lights went all the way through the middle of the car, through the door handle, and right to the front. So it was a continuous, seamless line. This now has like 3 lines. So it's got one coming into here, which disappears. Then it's got one at the bottom there, which doesn't dissect the door handle anymore. And then it comes down towards the front grille. On a positive note, I do really like the side skirts. They're really aggressive, and I don't think you'd want to change that much with an aftermarket part. It does suit the aggressive nature of the car. Wheel design is 20-inch on the back and 19 on the front. The design is actually really nice. You can tell immediately it's a BMW design, and it's very modern. On the front, I think the 19 just gets a little bit lost. Now, BMW did start doing that on the M4 GTS and then the CS model, so they had a 19 on the front and a 20 on the rear, but because this car is so slab-sided and big, I think the 19 just gets a little bit lost. So the mirrors are distinctly M. They're a lot bigger than we're used to seeing them on an M3 or M4, but it has the traditional sweep over here, so you can tell it's an M straight away, and an integrated indicator. Side grills are the more modern design that we've seen on other BMWs. They look really cool, nice and aggressive, and suit the nature of the car. The other thing I wanted to mention is the brakes. Now, on the F80 and F82, you had multi-piston calipers, front and rear. On these, you've got them on the front, so that looks like a very large brake. Looks probably like F90 M5 size, suits the car. But if you look at the rear, it does not look good. So if you look at Mercedes or Audi RS, they usually have the full-size caliper on the back, and that's a bit of a letdown when you're spending this much money on the car. But overall, I like the silhouette of the car, but there's just some details that we're not used to seeing on a BMW. And because of the crease I was talking about and the way the car surfaced, the reflections are kind of all over the place. So I'm going to bring you around to the front of the car and have a look at some of the design elements on here. I really like these laser lights. They've carried on the theme of the icons, but they're just a level up. They've just got more detail in them and almost look jewel-like. All the laser lights do have this blue color insert inside, and it works fine on this color, but I think if you're going to have a brighter color, maybe like a yellow or red, it will clash a little bit. It would have been cool if they had an option to kind of color code them to the car. Looking at the air duct, this is quite far in compared to M cars of previous generations. Normally we would expect that to be pushed over to this side. And along with the grills, which I'll come to in a minute, it feels like it pinches the car in the center and makes this bit look taller and more snout-like. I don't know if that was done on purpose, but it makes the car look less wide. And I think an M3 or M4 should look wider than it does taller. So moving on to the controversial part of the design, and that is these grills. We've been teased with pictures of these for ages. I'm not 100% convinced by them. I'm still not used to seeing them, even though this car is in front of me. I've had time to kind of take it in, and I'm still not loving it, if I'm completely honest. I do like the certain design elements of it and the way that they've kind of integrated that into the hood. And this suggests there's air vents in there, but it's not. It's like a scallop just to provide a bit more aggression on the front of the car. And these are frameless as well. So traditional BMW kidney grills would have a frame in there. And I think the number plate in the middle, it either helps or hinders it. They have to put that on there because there's nowhere else to put it on the side. So on the Alphas, they get away with having a big grille because they move the number plate to the side. But the way this bumper has been designed, there's no flat surfaces. You could do that on now. Maybe at design stage, they could have done that. But overall, I mean, if they were going for distinctive, it's very distinctive. You are not going to mistake this car for anything else. What do you guys think of the front end? Have you got used to it yet, or are you still wishing they'd carried on in the way they were going before? Thank you for watching, guys. If you want to watch more of our videos, you can watch them over here. If you want to watch what YouTube suggests that you might like from our videos, you can watch them over here. As always, if you haven't already, please like our video and subscribe to our channel. If you've got any questions for us, please drop them in the comments below and we will do our best to answer them for you.